Welcome back to WWTA News. Thank you for joining us again for another video. We've got more news to put out there. We're going to review these articles and have a little discussion. So, our very first article is the Sandbox partners with Warner Music Group to create a musical-themed metaverse. Isn't that interesting? We've been paying attention to Sandbox. Why? Because as the metaverse stuff started breaking out, Sandbox made some major gains in value. I know everybody's looking at it now and saying, oh, the value's down, but don't let that bother you. That's just for the moment. But let's find out what's going on. The following partnership will enable the Warner Music Group to conduct musical concerts within the Sandbox metaverse. So yeah, definitely what they appear to be shooting for is more people gathering within the metaverse, which we know is coming, and making money within the metaverse. So yeah, money's going to be made, and Sandbox isn't wasting any time. So we may be looking at low value on those coins for the moment, but don't get it twisted. That value is going to go up just as soon as the markets turn around. So just be ready for that. All right. It also says here, Warner Music Group all set to explore the metaverse in partnership with the Sandbox. The famous record label will also be utilizing its virtual land plots purchased within the Sandbox to be used as a place to host virtual concerts. Warner Music did not specify the details regarding the artists that will be performing in the new music metaverse. However, it is to be noted that the label is home to many reputed music artists including Ed Sheeran, Electra, Erato, Lizzo, and Red Hot Chili Peppers. So I know Red Hot Chili Peppers, don't know the rest of those names, but it doesn't matter. It's not even for me to even bother with it. But for those who are definitely already involved in that space, they're going to be excited from that news. And you should all be excited if you're holding on to Sandbox coins or tokens, mainly for the fact that they are going to grow in value substantially. So let's just wait for that and keep our cool. Let's see what else. House bill could let Treasury Secretary block international crypto transactions. Interesting. A provision in the America Competes Act would give the Treasury Secretary the power to block U.S. firms from interacting with some crypto transactions or exchanges if it becomes law. The crypto industry is sounding the alarm at the possibility that the U.S. will be empowering the Treasury Department to make arbitrary decisions about whether to allow financial transactions, including cryptocurrency transactions, across borders. A provision in the America Competes Act, a bill introduced to the U.S. House of Representatives earlier this week, would allow the Treasury Secretary to block or impose conditions on transactions should the official find that the transactions or the accounts are involved or engaged in money laundering. Now, the big takeaway there is, before everybody goes crazy, like, oh, they're coming after your money. Well, technically, they should be coming after your money if you are engaged in those transactions, which comes from money laundering and, all the nefarious activities tied to what they would call black markets. So the common folk like us, we might not pay any attention to that stuff or be even aware that those things go on around us. But that stuff is real and that stuff goes on around us. We're just not involved in that space. You know what I'm saying? You don't know anything about that space, so there's nothing you would, you know what I'm saying? It's irrelevant to you. You're not in that space. But for those people who are in that space, this is bad news. It's very bad news, because that means you can't take dirty money and clean it up, right? You got to remember something. In the United States, they keep telling you all the time, you got all these privileges in the United States. Well, there's a long, long history tied to all that stuff, and most people don't want to talk about it. But because these things exist, 16-mile square radius in the District of Columbia, if anybody's aware of that or why that is, then you'll understand why a lot of these laws have to be produced to stop a lot of the things that go on within the quote-unquote United States, which is just a company or a corporation right now of businesses and business transactions on American soil. So it's a lot of things involved in that stuff, and some of us might get mad or worked up, but it's like, you shouldn't get worked up about these things you should just literally do your best to try not to be involved in nefarious activities and just pay your taxes. And because right now you're doing business within a corporation. I mean, it's like you're doing business with those people, and if you're doing business with those people and when you make money within their system, that's doing business with them. I don't know how many ways to say this other than don't do business with them, or figure out some other way to make your money, or don't use their currency. But as long as these things are happening and you're in their system and you're within their walls or territory walls of them doing business, this is what they're going to do. There's nothing we can do about that other than either not do business with them or do legit legal business with them. I mean, I don't know what else I can say about that, but it is what it is. Next article: Biden administration sees crypto regulation as a matter of national security. The president's forthcoming executive order will reportedly task federal agencies with formulating holistic crypto regulations. The Biden to task agencies with proposing crypto regulations. Cryptocurrency regulation is an important component of national security, according to the Biden administration. Per a Barron's source, the White House will order government bodies to conduct analyses on digital assets, including cryptocurrencies, stablecoins, and non-fungible tokens, for the purpose of creating a regulatory framework. According to the source, the administration's goal is to take a holistic look at crypto assets in order to develop a set of policies that give coherency to what the government is trying to do in this space. Right, so I know everybody gets nervous from this stuff, but again, I just have to remind you, you have to have regulation or less bad business happens and you get screwed over. Big sharks in the game, they don't want you to have protection, because then they can't scam you or screw you over and take advantage of you. Okay, so that's the big fish. The big fish has to eat. So he's paying attention and he's swallowing up all the little fish, therefore he can continue to eat and grow. So with that being said, they have to create regulations. This is just a part of protecting the common folk that just don't know. And could there be some bad things to come out of this? It's always possible. It's just how these things go. But at the same token, right now there isn't pretty much any regulation. You know what I'm saying? And look at all the people that have been losing their cryptocurrencies to bad actors. People have been scamming and all this other stuff. And yes, they should know better, but then 9 times out of 10, they might not know better. And so this is where legislation comes in and puts blocks and holes on things so they can track people down and try to conduct these crimes, catch them, and then get those monies back that belong to the person that just got scammed. So you need those type of things. To continue that article, it says the White House nevertheless has no plans to issue recommendations of its own, but rather would require government agencies to put forth their own proposals, for which the White House would synthesize and bring together. The Barron's source emphasized the administration's desire for the harmonizing of regulations, particularly globally and between nations, since digital assets don't stay in one country. Many parts of the government are set to be involved, including the State Department, Treasury Department, Council of Economic Advisors, National Economic Council, and the White House National Security Council. So you can see there, cryptos transcend borders. We know this. And money laundering has been going on forever. We know this. These crimes have been going on forever. We know this. And again, it's always big business that's the bad actors behind these things. That's how they become big business, right? And it's scary to think about it, but it's reality. And so with legislation, I mean, it's necessary. It's necessary. If anybody's been scammed already, if anybody's lost their money, if anybody's been in a sense had their wallets hijacked, or these exchanges that have been hijacked and had the accounts money stolen, even the people that have used information or hacked people's technologies or plants or warehouses and then ransomed them for cryptocurrencies. You see what I'm saying? So know your customer is one of the major parts of these things, and that can stop a lot of bad actors. And so as they continue to formulate a plan, we're going to see more regulation to come. So that's going to conclude our news for today. If you liked the video, hit the like button. You can also subscribe to the channel and hit that bell for notifications. Thank you.